I like what you said, Arsenon, and that's really what works for, isn't it? Like, that's what it's all about. We get so much done for our personal lives at work. We listen to audiobooks. I myself play Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu Eevee while I'm at work. Actually, I've pretty much played every Pokemon game while I've been at work. It's kind of a bad habit, but yeah, it's the pros and cons of being in the back office, I would say, personally. Hey, Chelsea, welcome. By Swayze, welcome. And Sonic Speedsters, also there. Shiny Gamer, I saw some messages from you. Welcome. I don't know why, but I feel like this music's gotta be blasting some people's ears out. It just feels really loud to me for some reason. I'm just gonna turn desktop down a little bit. There we go. Now it's not so bad. Okay. Then we'll grab that. By Swayze, I am super jelly of that deal. Like, are these hard cartridges, or was it a modded Switch or 3DS at this point? Was it modified? Because, like, no shade if it was, because, like, it's not like I haven't totally not modified my 3DS ever. But I'm just genuinely wondering if these were cartridges and you got a freaking $1,000 for $110. They are always on the side your earbuds are in. Oh, that is beautiful, by Swayze. That is so beautiful. Love that for you. I need to get a second 3DS for reasons. See, I figured out that if I was to do a stream where I did on the DS, I would need a way to trade from the 3DS copy of yellow, red, blue, gold, silver, all that. I would need a way to trade those Pokemon to get the Evo so I could complete the Dex. So naturally, that would mean that I would have to get a second 3DS with those games on it. At this point, the only way I could do that is to modify it. Luckily, since I already own the games, getting a copy of them is going to be pretty quick, simple, and easy. I basically just have to copy my entire 3DS, and it'll be good to go. He was selling off his son's collection. Should have sold it on eBay. Meanwhile, my wife and baby have me buying the entire Winnie the Pooh collection in VHS so I can convert it to DVD so we can watch it. See, Arsenon, I would totally do that if I wasn't going for as legit of a playthrough as I possibly could and wanting to get those Pokemon up into Pokemon Home, knowing that they're completely 100% safe. Right? Like, I'm gonna be honest. As a 90s kid, I miss the level of effort and flair and just bad marketing that they put into the VHS pre-roll commercials. Like, DVDs, I mean, they started going downhill, but Blu-rays, it's like non-existent, and if it is, it's terrible. It's so terrible. And maybe that's just what Netflix has done to us, but I don't know, I feel like coming soon to a theater near you was just so iconic and just so so part of watching those videos. And like, I'm all for high resolution 4K. Like, I went out and bought a 4K TV. I got an Xbox One, you know, Series X, I mean. And I got a really nice TV, right? But there's just something about watching that 480p VHS maximum optimization that you can get out of it. Just like the flickering static screen with the colors, they're all matted and not vibrant at all. There's just something about it that's really soothing. Hey, Toxic, what console do I play the most? I play the Switch the most, given that pretty much that's all I've streamed recently. The console that I have played the most still probably goes to the Game Boy Advanced SP. I dumped so many hours into that thing. Given that you can play all of Gen 1 through 3 on it, like, I did a lot of repeat playthroughs. Probably should ask about my 1K hours in SAO. I mean, once upon a time, I maxed out my hours for playing Sword and Shield. Well, thank you, Chelsea. I'm glad it's enjoyable. Feel like it's part of the job of a streamer, even though I really don't count myself as a professional streamer by any means. Like, still got a long ways to go for that. I hit 12 to 20 viewers in my streams at a time, which, like, oh my gosh, if we would have thought about that like 3 years ago when I started using Twitch, like, crazy. Never would have thought. It was so hard to get 3 viewers at a time back in those days. And then, like, I stalled out at 10 for forever, and now we're up to like 12 to 20, somewhere in that ballpark. That moment when the game stops asking you if you need to go to bed and starts telling you to. Shit, that's funny. Oh my gosh, Toxic. What game do I just pop in to enjoy and then be done with? The only one that comes to mind is Assassin's Creed, Skyrim, Zelda. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Usually, like, I don't play games for fun as much as I would like to. Like, don't get me wrong, I have fun while I'm streaming, doing shiny hunts, all that fun stuff. But generally speaking, if I am playing a game, I am either recording it, making a video, or streaming. I rarely get to sit down and play games for fun just because full-time job, trying to do YouTube part-time. I suspect at the time where I would be going full-time YouTube, I would then have time to play games for fun. That's kind of one of the pushes for me to be a full-time YouTuber, is I can justify, you know what, I can play a game just for funsies now. And yes, I do play Fallout, although I stopped playing Fallout at Fallout 3 because that was the pinnacle in my opinion. New Vegas is arguably better, but I haven't played New Vegas. I just think the color palette was too orange because it's in Vegas. Good luck beating Skyrim. It's a fun game. It's a great story, especially when you like 100% it. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It's your favorite. I feel like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is my favorite Assassin's Creed game. I like how it feels like Assassin's Creed 1 still has the quality of life improvements without degrading to Revelations. 3 was okay, but like I hated that plots happen and was not a fan. And then, don't get me wrong, Black Flag was an amazing game. Like I get the appeal and why it's the best in the series. However, I feel like the original authors behind the Assassin's Creed series are not present in the game's development at all, going past Black Flag, because the storyline, it doesn't feel as cohesive. And I am trying in my free time, what little I do have, to work through the Assassin's Creed series again. I am currently in Brotherhood right now, to see if there's something more that I can pick up on another playthrough that's more justification for a conclusive story. Like, I gathered that they're looking for people that are sages, that are, you know, Minerva, Juno, and all them reborn. It just went crazy, way crazier than the Apple of Eden. Like, they had such a cool artifact going on there, and potential for more artifacts, but when they introduced the gods being reborn as humans, sages, and crap, it was lost on me. Every time you see somebody shiny hunting, you think of Darkrai. I'm glad this hunt has been ingrained in our minds. Still not as bad as Shaman, but oh, I think I triple tapped. Yep, triple tapped. We'll see you when you get back. A bush effed up your build, stopping you from finishing it? Nope, you're good, David. Yeah, storyline for the original was phenomenal. Like, the original first 4 games, 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelation 3, like, it had a great story. Still mega butthurt that Desmond got offed. Like, that was not fun. And, like, that's part of the problem for me, right? Like, I was happily playing through the series, you know. In about the time that Assassin's Creed 3 came out, I was working like a double full-time job going to school, and hating my life. Like, I was on overnights, working overnights. I was working at McDonald's as well. And if I wasn't there, I was at school. Like, I literally slept 3 hours a day. So during that time, that was 2012, I got the story spoiled for me that he died, and I was like, well, this is dumb. I don't want to play this game anymore. And I postponed playing it for like 5 years. I rage quit that game for 5 years. But yeah, if I'm not playing Nintendo, I am playing Xbox. Because every time I hold a PlayStation controller, I want to throw it at the nearest wall. Like, I hate it so bad. I grew up with the Nintendo 64 controller and the GameCube controller. I need big and blocky, so the 360 controller was phenomenal. Xbox controller, amazing. Love it. I can't stand my hands playing a game being perfectly parallel to each other. I got to have the offset because the N64 forced it. The one with George Washington was number 3. Yeah, just boom. Offset hands, love it. Super comfortable. Very, very good. Arson likes the PlayStation controllers. I mean, really, it's what you grew up with that's gonna stick. Grew up with neither. PlayStation has mid games. Honestly, I do remember PlayStation having some bangers of version exclusives, but it's not so much the case anymore. I can't remember what they were right off, but I do remember several instances where I bought a PlayStation just to play a game that I turned around and sold both of them. You kind of grow attached to the controller. Yeah, I mean, if I spent 1,000 hours playing with the controller, I would probably be attached to it as well. You right. Spyro was banger. Spyro was awesome. I just can't for the life of me remember what the PlayStation exclusives were. Yeah, nothing's coming to mind. That's how much PlayStation I play. Oh yeah, Nintendo has so many classics. And like, Nintendo is really these days the only one that I would buy a console specifically to play a game, no matter what console it was. Like, a Pokemon game comes out or a Zelda game comes out, I am buying that console just for that game. Don't matter if I need it. Don't matter if there's any other games that I would like to play on it. I will buy the entire console just for that one game. Like, another pro for me to Xbox is, while I used to think that my gamer score of 20K was very impressive, it's not. I like Xbox achievement system. Love it. I really wish Nintendo would do some sort of a point system like achievements. PlayStation's trophy system just pisses me off. I hate it so much. It's just not as satisfying to look at, and like maybe it's because it's trophies and it looks like a glass case and it's all blue and super neon lighty. I don't know, but Xbox is just like green, achievement, bar. That's it. Just, hey, you got this thing in this game. Like, I could get an achievement for 5 points and be way more stoked about it than a trophy for 100 points or whatever. Hi Arsenon, welcome to my stream when I crap on your favorite console line. Well, happy birthday yesterday, Avery. Dang, Gina. Everybody, Avery just got like a $280 birthday present. I highly recommend Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Very nice. And David completed his Pokedex in BDSP. Very nice. Avery plans to donate that your way. Guys, I still need to find a copy of Pokemon Crystal and Pokemon White 2. But Pokemon White 2 is ridiculously overpriced. Like, I would pay $100 for the game. People be out there wanting 180 for it. It's like, it really wasn't that great of a game. Why you out there selling Pokemon White and Black 2 for more than Pokemon Black and White? That's absurd. Darkrai cannot be used at Scarlet at this point in time. Oh, that's nice, Avery. Now it works. Oh, there are definitely a lot of fake Pokemon games. Especially on the DS. I mean, you already mentioned the battery, of course. That's the cartridge version. Yeah. It's not in the budget right now. I gotcha. Yeah, games do be expensive. I still haven't gotten around to pre-ordering the DLC. Gosh dang, I need to get on that. Ian, thank you. Take my Spirit Bomb energy to get a shiny. Well, hopefully that pays off, quote unquote. Just inject the $4.99 into the game and say we're paying for shiny odds at this point. It's pay to win, right? Clearly, if I have more switches hunting this, I find it faster. Oh, random story. Well, I guess it's not really much of a story, more of like just a tidbit of information. Today I was just trolling around at work doing my job, and I randomly got a notification saying I got a Twitch payout. So, like, I stream on Twitch, but I don't really pay much attention to Twitch. I mean, the chats when they come through, yeah. But as far as like the ad revenue I accrue, it's so slow that I barely even paid any Nevermind. Just hit the $50 threshold from ad revenue and stuff, and it's like, oh hey, that's nice. $50, cool. We like it. Hey, there's Hestiu. Why isn't he speaking? Guys, is Hestiu broke? What happened to Hestiu? That's really sad. Alert box. Sounds on. Maybe my volume's just down too low. I think my volume's just down too low. Let's be real. If it has Mario Kart in its title, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be good. Wii U was a good console in all but RAM. To be fair, the Wii U was pretty awesome, but I understand why it failed. You got a 3DS just for Pokemon X and Y? I'm reading back through older chats, I guess. true. Black 2 and White 2 does have black Kyurem and white Kyurem, so I mean, yeah, I can see why people want it, but let's be real. Black and White is the real MVP of the story. Except Roxy. Like, Black 2 might win just because of Roxy. Favorite Pokemon game? Hands down, Pokemon Sapphire. Easy pick. Oh yeah, N was definitely the best. I think N is like the best NPC in any Pokemon game, being perfectly honest. Toxic. Are you talking about Gen 4 Johto or Gen 2 Johto? Because while I would argue that we should refer to the base as the crowning achievement of the regions, it helps to know what people mean when they speak of a region that's been remade before. Because, like, when I say Sapphire, I'm not including Alpha Sapphire into that, even though it is everything, like, remake made done well. Gen 4 Johto is beyond amazing. I can respect that. But I would still go with, Sapphire. Just because I think it has more story. I love the Pokemon more. It has more of them. It has intricate stories with the legendaries that require going out of your way to obtain in more ways than one. Intricate puzzles, which built off of Johto's success, with Pokemon Crystal being the exemplar there. And the colors were just way more vibrant. Like, Gold and Silver got old with the color scheme. And I think on the DS, it did them even more dirty. Like, I think the DS is just a very, very visually unappealing system. The colors were all matte. They just didn't stand out. They had no vibrancy. But Gen 3 on that Game Boy Advance SP was just phenomenal in the color scheme. But let's see what Toxic has to say. You were born in 95. The Game Boy games of Ruby, Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, and Silver. First time saw Pokemon in color. Okay, seen Ho-Oh in the first episode, then seen him in the game. And see, I was born a little bit before you were, Toxic, and Pokemon Red, well, I guess Pokemon Blue was my first one. And then I got Pokemon Red from my sister, and then Gold and Silver were my first actual Pokemon games that were originally mine. My grandparents got me Silver for Christmas, and my parents got me Gold for Christmas. They kind of worked that out to where my parents would get me the system and one of the Pokemon games, and then my grandparents would come in clutch and get me the counterpart to the games, because my parents were very well aware that the games were designed to be able to trade amongst each other, and you needed both to get everything. And they thought that was cool because they had multiple kids, and they're like, yeah, they can play together. That's cool. And then the older ones were just like, no, you can have them. So that's how I got into Pokemon. But still, I have to go with Generation 3 over Johto because, yeah, while it was in color, and it is a banger of a game, don't get me wrong. Like, I've spent hours dumping into that game, and it is a much harder ordeal to complete the Johto decks back then than Gen 3 was, I think, despite having to... I mean, getting the decks complete was the hard part, right? Because the Pokemon were so rare at the time, and it's so obscure, and the encounter ridiculous, but Gen 3 had its own problems of... There's just so many games you need to complete that Pokedex. Like, you need 7 games just to finish it. And I am not joking when I say you need 7 games to finish it. And 2 consoles, and connection between those consoles. It's absurd. But I still love it all the same. That's the first generation of Pokemon games where I actually understood what was going on a competitive level, even though I suck competitive. I'm not good at battling, but I understood what was going on with, like, the odds and the encounter rates and all that stuff. Didn't play it again until 2016. You traded a Pokemon Ruby for Diamond? Oh, no. You traded Pokemon Diamond for Ruby. Honestly, wise decision. Episode 1 be like, prepping for next region. The Gen 3 felt like the most mysterious out of any game. Yeah, like, really, they did amazing with the legendary trio having to uncover underground cavern, figuring out what the heck Braille was, and researching what these things needed to open up the key, and then getting there and having to solve what it meant. It was like Unknown on steroids, because Unknown you could freaking read. They were the letters of the alphabet. Like, it made sense. Like, you study, you just had to write things down and you were good to go. You could figure it out. Braille, not really in anyone's skill set. Like, that one was difficult. Wait, Brass about to get offended? Why? First Pokemon game was Pokemon Go. I didn't play a mainline game until 2021, which was Gen 8. Is that what I'm going to be offended about? Because, like... Yeah, Gen 8 sucks. I'm glad that you still have a love for Pokemon Ruby Swirl after playing Gen 8. You taught yourself Braille because of Pokemon? That's awesome. Oh, trading Ruby for Platinum. Okay, so Platinum is better than Diamond and Pearl, but not as good as Gen 3 and not as good as Gen 5. Like, Platinum's still down on my totem pole list. Up until Gen 7 and 8, Gen 4 was my least favorite. But again, that's because I think that the DS as a system was garbage. Like, don't get me wrong, the idea was insanely cool. 3DS, absolutely love it. I think the 3DS is, like, the pinnacle of the DS line, like what it should have been from the start. And it's not just because of the 3D. Like, leave the 3D off, makes no difference to me. 3D off, still better than DS. And the reason why is the DS is the DS on Game Boy Advanced hardware. I swear to you, I don't have a better way of saying it, but it is 2 screens running on the Game Boy SP inside. And, like, people swap that crap out all the time, so, like, it's not that hard to see the comparison and why it's not that much better than the SP. In my opinion, and, well, it's not even an opinion, it's fact, like, the game is just so slow. And that's my biggest peeve with Gen 4. Like, I cannot play Gen 4. It's so slow. And it looked like crap. The colors were all bland, grayscale. Like, they were in color, but they just don't pop. And something about the DS screen wouldn't allow them to pop, despite it supposedly being a better DS or Game Boy Advance SP screen. Like, it just was garbage. That having been said, some of the Pokemon, pretty cool. Gen 4 is an idea, awesome. Love the story. Love the story. Barry wasn't a super annoying rival. He wasn't as awesome as May. But he was alright. And he wasn't as crappy as the Gen 6 rivals, and he wasn't Hop and How. So, like, Barry gets a pass for me. He's a redeeming quality of Generation 4. Really, Generation 4 has progression issues with the National Dex, and, like, it doesn't have a lot of replay value for me because, like, yeah, the first time you go through the game, you're learning about these new Pokemon. You didn't know that they could make it, like, they could evolve into a higher form because, you know, they didn't for 3 generations. And then all of a sudden they can. But the fact that they lock you into not being able to evolve them even after you learn that they are there really irritates me. Like, unless you trade yourself one from another copy holding the item you need for a trade evo or something like that, or, you know, give yourself the item in some way early, you have to wait till the post game to get the items to trade for them, and it's really dumb. It's counterproductive. It's not what Pokemon should be. Exactly, Ian. Doesn't matter when you started being a Pokemon fan, as long as the love for the games are there and you can have fun playing them. It's absolutely correct. It just blows my mind that we have Pokemon fans that are introduced at Gen 8. It is not up to the quality. I heard a rumor the other day that Pokemon is going to start slowing down their creation process from not releasing games every 2 years or every year, but to, like, you know, actually taking their time and making a good product. I was excited about that. Like, yeah, take an extra year. It's not going to kill anybody. Take an extra year, make the game something we want. I don't know if that's true, though. I sure hope it is. Oh, yeah. Alpha Ruby, Omega Sapphire, or Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, Oris, as they call it. Super great. Gen 3 on steroids. Everything about Gen 3 that I loved, plus more. Love it. I just can't say that it's declared a better version of the game than just the original, just because the original were so good to me and they got that nostalgia factor. And sometimes Megas get some hate. Sometimes Oris gets some hate. Too much water still. It's pretty funny, but love the games all the same. Hot take, Sneasel is cooler than Weevil. I don't know if that's a hot take. Sneasel is definitely the cooler Pokemon. It just sucks to use in battle. What's my opinion on this Generation 9? Honestly, I enjoyed it. Definitely glitchy. Pretty good Pokemon roster. Like, I don't really remember seeing any of the Pokemon in there that I'm like, oh, that's so dumb. I hate that Pokemon. That Pokemon sucks. It wasn't like Alalomola or Bruxish. Wasn't any of those for me. Like, I think Gen 9 has pretty well-rounded good Pokemon. Yeah, I can't think of any stupid ones. Really, my only main complaint with it is we don't have every Pokemon available yet. If you could ask for one thing, it'd be a dub of Trinity 7 on Crunchyroll, because Funimation has it, but they don't bother to actually get the episodes, so it's just... Oh, that's sad. Never heard of Trinity 7 before. Is it said about Looker being in the endgame with no purpose? His sad music with animation. Yeah, Looker, random character. Pretty funny, though. The first generation would probably be Generation 6. Well, that's still a great generation. X and Y gets a lot of heat. Understandably so, but I think it introduced a great thing to the series. I love Mega Evolution, but the Mega Evolutions are so dark. Why are these Pokemon out there, like, busting at the seams for their trainers because they love them so much? Like, that's just... Pokemon Company had issues. Will the members card ever be obtainable again? That is definitely not going to happen. At least for BDSP. Like, they never redo events on the same generation. Yeah, I can't think of many instances where they have redone an event on the same generation globally. So, like, there has been one Darkrai event, one Arceus event, barely, per generation. Like, 4 and then 4 remake. Team Looker. He was not random, he was our boss in Kalos. Like, I don't even remember encountering him in Kalos, dude. Gonna be honest, I have very fleeting memories of Kalos. It is not very well in my memory bank. So that's because, like, I really only played through it in 2015. It's been a hot minute since I've played through it. Like, 8 years? You predict I will get the shiny Darkrai this stream. Like, I so hope you're right. That would make my day. Not to mention, Ian, once you get to Gym 3, like, you just blow through the rest of the game. I predict a world of disappointed. Like, here, congratulations, here's this Mega Stone. Oh, you beat the game. Well, dang, that was fast. Dang, my kid's just over there in his playpen having a ball. Wish I was that happy. Wouldn't be a Brass Coin stream without Baby Coin babying in the background. I love how we're all just, like, at the same time. Like, dang, he's going on about something. If Mario Kart Wii is the bane of your existence, you really need to start playing it on the Super Nintendo there, Mr. Twirtles. Like, if you think the Wii version's bad, or hard, or difficult, go back to the Super Nintendo. By the time you see what's going on the screen, you're already off the side of the road getting picked up by the fisherman guy. I gotta go with Mightyena being my favorite one, Ian. Mightyena, just... I never use it on my team. But as far as, like, low-level encounters for routes, like, Bidoof irritated me. Not because it was dumb. It just irritated me. Rattata's annoying. Pidgey, eh. Starly really annoys me. Even though I usually end up with one on my team. Tailow's alright. Zigzagoon's pretty okay. Poochyena just stood out in a way. Like, it doesn't annoy me. Like, I actually quite like Poochyena. Even though I would never put one on my team for obvious reasons. It's not good. Yeah. Yamper? Nope. Not a fan. Not a Yamper boy. You caught a Yveltal in a Pokeball. Ooh, Chelsea, you right. Shinx, though. Shinx is an early obtainable mod. Ooh. Ooh, I love my Shinx line. It's one of my favorite lines. Shinx or Mightyena? Okay. Normally, and I have said this on stream before, Shinx is one of my favorite Pokemon. It in my, like, probably top 30 at the very least. But Legends Arceus kind of ruined Shinx for me. Still love my Shinx boy. Love that it's a little electric lion-looking thing with a tuxedo on. But I have ran into so many shiny Shinx in Legends Arceus that I really don't want to see a Shinx again. Like, I love it to bits. I also like husky dogs. So if that lends some reasoning to why I like Mightyena so much. And, like, I know it's not exactly a husky, but it does kind of look like one. Honestly, we need a husky Pokemon. Like, can we get a true blue husky Pokemon? Like, Mightyena is kind of a husky. It's got the similar coloring. It's got blue eyes. But, yeah, it's good Pokemon. Just got Mario Karted again. Hey, Brian, what's up? Favorite Legends shiny was a Shinx. Not gonna lie, I was so stoked when I found my first shiny Shinx. Like, that was just amazing to find. But then I just kept finding them, and finding them, and finding them. I found 7 shiny Shinx before I stopped counting. And that's just because when you play the game, like, I had to fly over that area so many times, and I'm still not done. Like, I will probably find 3 more shiny Shinx before I'm done. Presently, I have a Deoxys in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl active. Yeah, my first shiny. It was an Eevee, and it decided that it didn't want to be my friend. Definitely wasn't planning on evolving into a Sylveon for me, so that's mega sad. It's like, nope, I don't choose you. Bye, Felicia. But other than that, I kind of don't have any other bots running for giveaways. Yeah. You know what would be absurd? And, like, realistically I could do, I just don't think that it would be a great idea. We need more videos, we need more ad revenue, right? Like, more watch time, all that fun stuff, more CRM. Like, I could start breaking these giveaways down into days instead of like, oh, we got Shiny Mew, we got Shiny, or we got Mewtwo, we got Shiny Mewtwo. Tuesday, video's out, let's go get it, or whatever, just for an example. I could do, you know what, Monday, Mewtwo. We got 2 bots running Mewtwo. Tuesday, we got 2 bots running Shiny Mewtwo, and just have them be separate videos. That would be a real not like me thing to do. But I could. That would be where the greed takes over, I think, at that point. Not a good idea. Not a good plan. Like, I like being able to have 2 giveaways go in a week. But, that having been said, the idea is sort of appealing in that it would feel like there's more going on the channel. It would create volume, drive traffic, all that thing. Only if you do reruns on Wednesday like Stardew Valley. Just on Wednesday, you know, just, hey, you guys missed this Pokemon, here you go. Like, honestly, I could get away with doing that. The problem is, I think that if some videos were more popular than others, they would quickly become overwhelmed. Like, right now I have 2 bots trading away Mewtwo, 2 bots trading away Shiny Mewtwo, 2 bots trading away Deoxys, 2 bots trading away Shiny Deoxys. So I have a total of 8 bots working on these trades round the clock, plus my 1 member bot for Deoxys and my 2 member bots for the Mewtwo stuff that's going on. But those are neither here nor there. Those ones are also trading away request Pokemon as well, plus the PLA bot. So that's accounting for all 13 of my bots at that point. But I wouldn't be able to host a member giveaway for each individual giveaway, and that's something that I don't really want to do. Arcenon bot just vibing. Yeah, it is. Arcenon bot technically is this little Spitfire. That one is very interesting. It's special, Arcenon. It's kind of quirky. Oh, dude, that's funny crap right there. Like, the odds of us coming up with the exact same word at the same time is phenomenal. It's quirky. Oh, that made my day. No, it's not broke. It's just a little special. No, the bot anymore that really irks me is this lovely one down here. Now, when you guys say, hey, one of your bots isn't working in my YouTube comments, my first reaction is, okay, what am I using bot 18 to give away? And what is it doing now? And I've been kind of shocked lately. It is not the problem child of this giveaway. This particular giveaway with the Deoxys, I believe, is that one. That one is the problem child. No, I just can't hold Joy-Cons. No, it's more of that the timing was messed up for the longest time. It didn't want to transfer data over correctly for a little while. Like, I had to delete everything off of the SD card and then remod it like 3 times before it started really working, and now it's solid. Now it's solid. Honestly, from this collection we have here, I would say that bot, the one that Pikachu is in front of up there, and probably the one that Wobbuffet is guarding down here, are the two most solid bots, the ones that I never worry about. Arsenon's a bit quirky, confirmed. But yeah, it's funny that like my three most recent bots are all the good ones. Yeah, Fortnite one, Splatoon, and the Zelda themed one on the second shelf over here. Those ones never give me grief, ever. They're just real troopers. I think that one is one of my oldest bots. Followed by the one Eevee's guarding, and then the one Dialga's guarding. Like, those are my three oldest ones, I think. I never took inventory or log of which one I got when, really. I just remember more vividly the last three I did buy because they're more recent in my mind. And just because, like, for some reason, the last three that I bought all had amazing Joy-Cons. Like, they were pristine version 1 Switches, so, like, I love them. Why not make two C-3PO and R2-D2? You mean by naming them? Really? Only one of my bots is actually named? Well, I should say two of my bots are named. One of them is the Magikarp bot. A bunch of my mods teamed up in the Discord server and made a joke out of a Magikarp, and like way back when, one of them just changed his name to Magikarp, and then everybody else changed their name to Magikarp, and then just next thing I know, like, my entire mod staff of like 15 at the time were all Magikarp. And that was the time that I was getting the bots set up, so I just made the Sword and Shield bot a Magikarp bot. So it has a name, it's Magikarp. The other bot that has a name was the Arsenon bot, and that's because Arsenon at this point has like single-handedly made donations to purchase a minimum of 3 of the bots at this point, if not 4. Probably 3, tipping on 4, but yeah. So Arsenon just like, hey, how much do you need to get your last bot that you're looking for? And then ended up just dropping that on the channel, and we're like, all right, I guess the bot's name is the Arsenon bot, and it ended up being super quirky. It was super poetic. Like, oh my gosh, that bot gave me so much sass in the Discord server when I was trying to set up the commands and get it to work correctly and trade stuff out and accept commands from people. Like, it legit told me no a few times. And none of my other bots have ever told me, no, I'm not doing that. This one I was like, hey, trade Pikachu. And it's like, no, not happening. Hey, Skygams and Austin. Welcome, welcome. It was fitting how we first met. Yes, absolutely. My very first interaction with Arsenon like 2 years ago was, dude, I'm gonna kick you from my server, knock it off. Wasn't the best first impression ever, but we fixed it. Oh, I think after this encounter, we're gonna have to go get some food for the little one. Made it almost 100 encounters. That's pretty good. And it's been an hour. Next thing I know, I'm in the running for mod. Yeah, that's how you get mod in my Discord server. I sent... What? No, I don't think so. I don't think I sent Arsenon to a camp. All right. We will be back in just a moment. I'm going to go get Kiddo some food. Alright, we're back. And off the top of their head, who can say where this song is from? And there is a chat about Olive Gardens. Gotta have a good argument. Who doesn't like Taco Bell, aside from myself? Yeah, you can still connect to Wi-Fi. There is like absolutely nothing blocking the 3DS. 3DS has no safety checks in it for online. I actually need to buy another 3DS to mod myself. And I am in the market. I just can't justify paying over $150 for one. Hey, you were finally able to get Magearna? That's legit. What is getting Mario Karted? I am an old fogey that's not down with the lingo, apparently. Someone has listed for $100 with Pokemon Bank on it. Nice. Proceeds to break fingers to make signs. Hey, Arsenon. I lived in Texas for 2 years. Taco Bell ain't got nothing on Spanish food. Like, don't get me wrong. I love myself a good taco. But, it better be authentic. Do they sell Baja Blast? Who be out there buying Baja Blast? Everybody knows you just need to put Mountain Dew inside Glacier Freeze Powerade or whatever the crap it's called. Cool Blue. Oh, modded 3DSs are lit. Like, you can do so much with a 3DS, it's crazy. Oh, I didn't say Baja Blast wasn't amazing. I was just saying that it's just Mountain Dew and Blue Powerade. Oh, yeah, Mr. Twirls. That makes sense. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if it's on a hacked 3DS, the mods will still be legit, or can be. The only thing the modded 3DS really does is allow you to rip games in their entirety from the cartridges, edit the saves, edit the code, edit the information, everything. Like, with a modded 3DS, you can pretty much send your entire game cart to the PC, change the coding of the game, and then inject it back into the game cart and call it a day. For example, not on a 3DS, but this one's on a copy of a Game Boy Color. I want to get a copy of Pokemon Crystal. I actually want to get two. And I want to get a US version of Pokemon Crystal. And you can actually extract the game's coding from the game, send it to your computer, change one line of coding to true, and you can get Celebi in it. And it's a legitimate Celebi. Like, Pokemon Crystal in English is the exact same game as Pokemon Crystal in Japan. The problem is, when they made the English version, they turned that event off. The event is still there. The game's coding, there is no item, and this is why you can't really hack the Celebi encounter into your Pokemon Crystal game, at least not easily, is there is no item to turn the encounter on. The GS Ball, yeah. I mean, maybe you can give yourself a GS Ball and it will spawn the Celebi. I haven't played around with the Action Replay in years, but the encounter before that, like the story leading up to it, you don't get the cutscenes or cutscenes, the dialogue from the characters that stand still on the screen, the would-be cutscenes, I guess. But if you change that line of coding to true, after you beat the Elite Four, you go to a Pokemon Center and you can get the GS ball from one of the ladies there. And you take it to Kurt, do that whole thing, and it'll work. But without that coding set to true, Kurt will do nothing with your GS ball. Oh yeah, modded 3DS can play normal cartridges just fine. Yeah, so modding a 3DS is a little bit more labor intensive than modding one of those Switches, but it's the exact same thing. Exact same process. King's Guard, in the next 10 to 15 resets, it'll be shiny. No, I'm not counting. Here's hoping. I'm ready for it to be shiny. I am so ready. Like, I feel like we need a nice 3,000 encounter shiny just to round off my tables there. Like, I got one in the 4,000s, one in the 1,000s, one in the 2,000s. We got a 5,000. I feel like we need a 3,000 encounter Pokemon up on that table. That's just a GS ball. I don't have any text telling me what to do with this, so I don't have any commands to take this from you and help you out. Basically. Let's see. Arsenon puts half of an orange Kickstarter and half Baja Blast, making hella tasty drink with 2 colors and a sunset look. Aight. Bet. Also. Oh, maybe not the best example. Okay. So, this is basically a bot running, for those that don't know. So, this is all going through Wi-Fi. There's a program on my computer inputting key commands into this, telling it to trade out Pokemon. That one happens to be a Blissey that we got for a Mewtwo, but yeah, we'll let it run a cycle, because I feel like this one's going to continue to trade out. Helps if I press the right buttons. So yeah, it's just going to move into trade mode, reuse the same code, and start searching. And take forever. Can barely see what's going on there, but yeah. And they're just going to trade me Blissey after Blissey after Blissey, apparently. But that's all a modded 3DS really is. I mean, same core, same everything. It just has altered programming for more fun. And it just runs off the SD card, so, like, it's whatever. So, like, 10 out of 10 would definitely do it again. And probably will, so that I can trade myself. Hot take, Larry is the best character in SV. I don't know if that's a hot take, but it's definitely a popular take. I'm not going to say I disagree, because I don't. Like, I think the champion got done so dirty in this generation. Larry would have been champion, but the champion does not pay the bills. That's pretty funny. Cynthia Smash. Okay, but like, for being a video game character and, you know, imagining what that character would look like as a real person, Cynthia has no business looking as good as she does for as old as she is. Like, Cynthia is somewhere north of 40, if I remember correctly. Lusamine is the, quote-unquote evil lady from Generation 7, right? Lily's mother, okay. I say evil loosely. Isn't Alder, like, super old? Like, I feel like Alder was in his 60s. Evil, yes, but actually no. So I guess I'm playing Wii Sports now. Well, to be fair, like, she wasn't even evil. Like, she was doing some science-y bullcrap, and her husband got eaten by an ultra wormhole. Like, if you had her power and presence, like, you would probably go after your significant other, too, by any means necessary. Okay, so this one might be a hot take. Okay? So, the best Pokemon generations ever, right? Generation 1, 2, 5. Why is that? What sets 1, 2, 3, and 5 apart from the other generations? And the answer is really simple when you think about it, as far as story progression and playability and actual investment in the game itself. Look at your rival situation in each of those games. Gary, punk kid that just bullies you the entire time. So, like, you have motivation and desire just to snuff him out anytime you see him. Because he's a freaking twerp, right? You don't like Gary. You're not supposed to like Gary. He's your rival, okay? Generation 2. Your rival straight up freaking steals a Pokemon and tries to beat you with it. And then, you know, has a very, very slow character arc where they slowly start to care about their Pokemon. Regardless of the player that you choose, boy, girl, whatever, you have the same rival. Doesn't give two craps about you. Generation 3 starts off with, hey, do you want to be friends? Actually, let's be rivals. We're going to battle and test each other out. Like, you just moved this town. They recognize that. There's a nice in for why we don't have any sort of relationship with this character that's going to be our rival throughout the game, right? And then, you know, you get a desire to beat them. Generation 4, never got that. You just start off in this game, middle of your life, you know, you're 10 years old, you have your friend, Barry, that you have to name, because for some reason we don't know our friend's name. And, like, there's no real connection there aside from the game tells you that you're friends. And then it's just like, oh, we're friends, but I want you to be my rival instead. It's like, no, I don't even know you. Like, coming on a little strong there, Game Freak. Like, I just barely got into this world. I don't have any friends. I don't know anybody. Why do I know this person? Like, we know our mom in that game. The origin story there is pretty self-explanatory. We don't need an explanation for why we're friends and how we got there, you know, whatever. Generation 5? Yeah, Charon's our rival, Bianca's the emotional support, whatever, but Charon's really not our rival, and they're really not our friends, and it doesn't really matter. We get a much cooler rival. We get N. N is king, quite literally, but N is king, and just amazing all the way around, and, like, you want to get to know this person. Like, and, like, they're your rivals, so you kind of want to fight them, but, like, at the same time, you really just want to see what they have to say because you want to know more about their story. And then you get to Generation 6, and then they try to do everything all at once. Like, oh, you have your friend, you have your rival, you have the comedic relief, you have the dancer, you have the person that just wants to be friends, and it just was too much. Generation 7, you get How. Yeah, we're friends now because you just moved here. And I do like, and I appreciate greatly, and the reason why How is better than Hop, in my opinion. 1, because he's the original Hop. 2, because it addresses the fact that we just moved to this region. His grandfather sets us both on this quest of some kind, and, you know, we have a good time, we grow, we battle it out. It doesn't force the friendship upon us. The friendship gets to grow naturally, along with the rivalry. And Generation 8, once again, they use the trope of you guys have been friends your entire life. Go hang out. Go be rivals. And it's just a very bad relationship. In Generation 9, it goes back to that. It goes back to the, hey, you just moved here. We're going to be rivals. It's like, okay, let's fight. I mean, Nimona, you're coming on a little strong, but, like, I appreciate that. You wanted somebody to challenge you. Like, I'm up for a challenge. Yeah, let's go battle. We can be friends, we can be rivals, but it grows naturally over time. It's not just BAM in your face. You guys have been friends forever. But yeah, that's kind of each one of those games. Just sitting there thinking about why I didn't like them and why I liked the other ones. They all have that same thing in common. Your relationships were natural. They were explained. There was story behind them, not just this is how it is because this is how it's always been, even though you're new to this world. Anyways, that freaking long rant aside, I got like dozens of comments that I need to read. Mr. Turtles rage quit the game. Y'all are wild. I hope so. They actually tried when making those games. Yes, they did. Gen 5 Black 2, our rival, wanted to get his sister's Mon back. Oh my gosh, I forgot completely about Hugh being a different rival. Oh my gosh, Hugh was awesome. It was like, goes up and punches Team Plasma in the face and says, "Get back to Pokemon." It's like, I don't need a Pokemon battle. I'm just gonna settle this like a normal human. Decks him in the face. This is amazing. The most rational explanation or human reaction to anything ever. It's like, no. I don't need to give you time to pull out Pokemon. I'm just gonna freaking beat you myself. You named it Blue. Ha. Think having a rival start Hood, then have them go through the game with you only to have them turn evil would be cool. You know what? That could be good. I know what the comment was supposed to say now. Having them start good and then go evil. That would be kind of interesting. I like it. You know, you both set out on your adventure together. They turn evil. You stop them. Like, could be an interesting dynamic. Gen 9 DLC, Nimona dies. I doubt that. Nintendo would never have a death in their games. They couldn't even kill off Rattata properly. Mimikyu fan, welcome! I hated how Hop was a baby, lost and gave up on his career. Yeah, Mimikyu, they can be pretty difficult. Technically, ghost Pokemon aren't inherently dead. It's just their typing. So, for there to be ghost Pokemon in the world of Pokemon, we have to process it as it was once alive and now is not. Ghost Pokemon in the world of Pokemon don't necessarily have to have been living creatures that have since passed away. It doesn't have to be like that. They can be more similar to evil spirits and demonic entities in nature, not necessarily living beings that have since passed on. Really, the only death that we know confirmed was Marowak, and even that thing didn't stick around as a spirit for long. Yeah, it kind of looked like a Haunter, but like when it was all said and done, with the Sylph Scope, you could tell that it was a Marowak, and then its spirit dissipated. You don't see ghost Pokemon just dissipating, which is different than a Pokemon spirit, I would say, definitively. So ghost Pokemon as a typing, they're just uncorporeal creatures. That would be a better way of putting the ghost type. There's the dark type because they're underhanded tactics, and then there's ghost type because they're uncorporeal, which is why normal moves can't touch them. I can't go up and pimp slap a ghost. It's just not going to happen. But through some underhanded tactics, I'm sure we could find a way to do some damage. Makes sense why that's super effective. But yeah, I would say ghost type is more of an uncorporeal type. My music stopped. I'm kind of sad. Alright, actually, Raticate. They couldn't would if it would anger the fans. Every ghost type Pokemon ever. Nintendo enjoys watching us suffer. You're back. Spiritomb is 108 dead. Well, it's 108 spirits combined. Trevenant and Phantump. I believe one of them is the spirits of kids lost in the forest. Who did the original Black 2 White games? Yes, Mimikyu fan. I would say N is the true rival behind Gen 5. Like, sure, Sharon starts his adventure out at the same time as us, but I feel like N's the main rival. He's the opposition. He's the one that tries to stop you from, you know, becoming the champion when it's all said and done. Primeape's Evo, yes, he does get so angry that he dies. I didn't say no Pokemon is a dead spirit. I said they're not inherently passed on deceased spirits. If they got lost in the forest, they're probably dead. You right. That is a safe deduction. But Bayonet and Shuppet, for example, they are a doll that came to life because their child discarded them. So, like, this child has a Poke doll. It played with it, grew up, got too old for it. It got all ripped up and turned into shambles. It came alive and became a Shuppet, as far as the lore for Shuppet is concerned. Kid didn't die and inhabit the doll. It doesn't really say where the spirit came from. It just says the doll comes to life, pretty much. Skull Kids and Pokemon. Yeah, basically. Oh yeah, I failed a couple shinies, actually. Yeah, Shuppet is basically a used Poke doll, but I think it's got to be a certain type of Poke doll. Shuppet Dex entries. Huh. Maybe I'm on crack. I don't know. Oh, no. Bayonet. I'm looking at the wrong Pokemon. That's what's going on. I mean, I still could be. I don't know. Let's see. Bayonet. Yeah, a cursed energy permeated the stuffing of a discarded and forgotten plush doll, giving it new life as a Banette. The Pokemon's energy would escape if it were to ever open its mouth. Which creates problems in and of itself, right? Because Shuppet is a discarded, forgotten plush doll. What the heck is Shuppet? Like, Shuppet evolves into Banette. So how does that work? Also, if you've ever noticed, the Ruby and Sapphire dexes, well, I guess this is general all the way around. You have one generation of Pokemon, or one game in every Pokemon generation that deals with the science behind the dex entries, and the other dex entry deals more with the magical side of things. Like, Ruby. Banette generates energy for laying strong curses by sticking its pins into its own body. This Pokemon was originally a pitiful plush doll that was thrown away. Sapphire. A cursed energy permeated the stuffing of a discarded forgotten plush doll, giving it new life as a Banette. The Pokemon's energy would escape if it were ever to open its mouth. One gives, like, one aspect of the Pokemon, the other gives the other aspect. It's actually pretty cool. 'Tis a puppet. It is indeed. Yeah, I was looking at the wrong one. It's like, Shuppet, that doesn't sound right. Like, I know this is, like, I know I wasn't on something with this one. A doll that became a Pokemon over its grudge from being jumped. It seeks the child that disowned it. Oh my gosh. That is dark. Is Mimikyu a deformed Bayonet? It could be. It could be a split Evo at the very least. The energy escaped, so it went and found a Pikachu doll to be loved. You find him cute. I do want to know what kind of a Poke plushie they were before they were discarded and turned into that. Like, could you imagine? I guess it's just a plush doll. We assume it was a Pokemon plushie. But, like, looking at it, it could be a Mewtwo Y. Like, even though it was made after Mewtwo Y was... Or, you know, well before Mewtwo Y was the thing. It could be a Mewtwo Y plushie. I mean, Bayonet kind of looks like... Or Bayonet looks kind of like a Mewtwo Y. It's Pikachu with regrets about playing in the factory. First game I completed the Pokedex in? Oh, that was easily Pokemon Sapphire. Like I said, that was the first generation where I understood what was going on. Then I had to go back and do Generation 1 and 2, which I am getting ready to do on my channel again. So, I've never done that on my channel before, and I'm excited to go through and complete the decks for you guys. I just got to get the setup going for it. I also need to start cheesing my Jirachi hunt so that I can get it faster. And by cheesing, I mean working out how to do the save glitch. I am not watching any Bleach, unfortunately. Also, I do like that Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu Eevee makes a joke out of Professor Oak not remembering his grandson's name. Like, it finally explains that to us, and, like, I love that. I love that aspect. I am Spider-Man, man. Yeah, I'm currently giving out the shiny Mewtwo on my YouTube channel. Just check out the video and enter the trade code. Eventually, you'll get a hold of one of the bots and be able to get one. Oh, I like trade Evos. I think they're cool. I claim the poisoned type trainer aspect. That's why my hat has a Gengar on it. I like the purple. Purples and blues, favorite colors. Even though I'm decked out in red today, I guess. But I kind of dig it. I'm toxic. Some people didn't know how to wait in line. That does not surprise me in the slightest. People be greedy. But I did get a nice screenshot on one of my switches of people waiting in line, and there's just something great about seeing like a bunch of chibi Nintendo characters all lined up waiting for a Pokemon. It was super adorable. It really is. And like, I think that we need a Kunai Poison Steel type. My YouTube is the same as my Twitch name, Brasscoin, and there's a link in my channel bio, I am 90% certain, or at the bottom of the screen you're watching this on. You remember when you forgot it was strong against Fairy? That's funny. Even without Crobat, Golbat is cool. I think Crobat was a much needed addition to Golbat's line. Like, it really makes up for how annoying Zubat is. I just think it's terrible the way I pronounce civility in the video. I think I said civility, which everybody knew what I meant, but it still made me feel stupid when I was, like, done with the recording. I'm like, that's not how you say civility. Oh, well. I've probably said worse things on camera. Mr. Twirtles, you have a fantastic evening. Cade and Nathor. Cade and Thor. I can read, kind of. Yeah, arguably speaking, Gardevoir is pretty ridiculously strong. But let's not forget about Ash just casually carrying around a Cosmoem either, so Ash has absurd strength. And, like, I am fully in the camp of people are Pokemon, because there's no way a human should be able to tank that many Thunderbolts from a Pikachu. You gambled a lot for a Porygon? Yeah. I don't know if I gambled. I just beat the Elite Four into submission and went and bought the coins when possible. My most annoying thing about it is how long it took to buy said coins. I wonder how many people in the Pokemon world died from a Mimikyu before they realized what was happening. I still like the fan theory that Ash is also the old man that watched, like, that was like the league chairman when it was all said and done for the World Series or whatever. Like, I like the idea that that's either Ash's grandpa or Ash himself through some time travel shenanigans. I don't remember seeing Red and Arceus in the same room. Coincidence? I think not! Fairies! Celebi helped Ash on his last day one more time. I'm glad Arsenon picked up what I'm putting down. Fairy godparents! Yeah, Mewtwo is only being given away in Scarlet and Violet. This is where you'd put my Gen 2 Celebi if you had one. Telling you, I am going to figure out how to get a copy of Crystal onto my computer, not in ROM form, like I want it on the actual cartridge. I want to change the game's coding to true for that. I am going to do it. I just got to get me a copy of Pokemon Crystal and make sure it's authentic. I haven't found any in the local game shop, though. I'm kind of sad. I don't really want to order it on eBay. Like, I don't want to. But I may have to. But that's... You used to want to catch Celebi. What is my opinion on Meloetta and other mythical Pokemon? Pretty vague question, really, but I was never really on the Meloetta train. Gen 5, I didn't really even know it was a thing. Like, up until recently, that was a Pokemon that I did not have a legit version of in my game. I still don't think I have a legit version of it in my Pokemon home. I think my Meloetta is still safely nestled in my Pokemon Go account, but I do have one, so basically, I mean, I have the dex, it's fine. Didn't they do a Meloetta distribution recently? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe I'm cracking out. Probably not. Because I did a giveaway for it, and I wouldn't have had to if they did it for Scarlet and Violet. Either way. I like mythical Pokemon. I think it's a little bit too absurd how rare they are. I hate that a lot of them are shiny locked. And I definitely hate, really hate, that when they aren't shiny locked, they're almost exclusively released in Japan for like the first 5 years. Hey, Ian, thank you so much. There were too many people when you were trying to get a shiny Mewtwo? That's unfortunate. I mean, it was pretty busy. I mean, it's got like... In 24 hours, it has 3,000 views. So, like, that's pretty dang good. And I suspect that it's only going to get busier as the week goes on. To put that into perspective, it's at 3,000 in the last week. My BDSP one, my Deoxys giveaway is only at 6,000. My Celebi one was at 6,000, and my Goldengo one was at 4,000. So, realistically speaking, for 1 day of being active, well, almost 2 days, 3,000 views, that's a lot of activity on that bot. I think Marshadow Shiny is white. You hated Meloetta in the game? Yeah, so I used to have a legitimate Genesect on my Pokemon Black copy that I had. My dumb butt reset the file because I didn't realize I had a freaking once-in-a-lifetime obtainable mythical on it. Thought Genesect was dumb at the time, then I wisened up, but yeah. I had a legit Genesect, got rid of it. Didn't make the Meloetta event. And then Hoopa, I definitely missed. And unfortunately, I ended up missing the Year of Mythicals. I was in Texas, living in Texas, and I didn't have internet. So I just didn't have the option to get those. I got some because I had my friend use my DS back here in Idaho to get them for me. But he was busy, you know, dating girls and getting married and stuff. Couldn't be playing 5 seconds a month of Pokemon for me. Gosh. No. I didn't give very clear instructions. Which is why we have bots on the channel, is because I hate that too. I hate that we all pay the same amount of money for this game, but we don't get equal access to the giveaways. I think it's complete absurdity, and I think when the game is done, since we're on the Switch, we all have internet, it just takes a quick, simple update. When the generation is done, I think they should go back through and make an update to the game where those Pokemon are permanently obtainable in the game, much similar to how we can always get a Mew and a Jirachi in BDSP now. And, I mean, if you buy all of the games, you can always get another Arceus. It can even be shiny. But I think they need to do Shaman, Manaphy, and Darkrai, give them the same treatment as well. Oh, yeah. Dada Zarude and Pink Onion Boy, we had to buy a Japanese-only movie ticket to get a hold of for the first year it was out. I paid somebody in Japan to do that for me, and it is my hope that next time the giveaways start coming around for this generation, that I would have a number of fans that I could rely upon in Japan that would hook me up, essentially. Like, I would send you money somehow to hook me up for that. Because the sooner I get those Pokemon, the sooner I can copy them and distribute them. So one good thing about Blaine's living in Japan. Pretty easy access for him. They just activated high contrast with Marshadow. Yes. All right, guys. I am bidding on a, 12 movie set of Winnie the Pooh, because that's where I'm at in my life. I am on eBay right now, making sure I am the highest bidder on a set of 12 Winnie the Pooh VHS tapes. Because my wife has a thing for nostalgia, and we don't want to raise our kid on Coco Melon. So we're going to get the old movies that we grew up with, because we turned out relatively okay, and we like how slow the scenes change and aren't going to give the kid brain damage because of how constantly they're flashing different things for them to look at. Oh, he will be watching Pokemon. You can bet your dollar on that one. He's a little young now. I think about 3 years old, 2.5, I'm going to start him on Pokemon. Something that, has a story. He can follow along a little bit better, kind of know what's going on. I think he's a little bit too young to appreciate words and developing plot and story. Not that Pokemon has a lot of developing plot. It's mostly about, let's be friends and treat each other nicely type stuff. But, yeah. Kingsguard, I have already done a Volcanion giveaway, but I assure you, when I do hit 25,000 subscribers, I will start redoing the Mythicals in earnest again. Just not a lot of value in doing that for me. Not quite worth tying up the bots for a week to do the giveaways. Just because there are things that more people could make use of in that time. And we are growing really fast. I'm growing at about 1,000 subscribers a month, so if we keep that current trajectory, it'll be sometime close to May, I believe, where we start redoing the giveaways, which is a nice timeline for me. By then, the DLC will have kind of died down a little bit. We'll see what we need to do for redo of giveaways. Then again, there's always the possibility that I run out of stuff to do in the meantime, but I doubt it, because what we're going to see with the DLC opening up is Pokemon Home opening up more, and we're going to have more availability for Legends and Mythicals that I can now give away in Scarlet and Violet instead of in Sword Shield BDSP. So, yeah. I just answered that question of when I would redo giveaways. Instructions not clear, wound up marrying Tahiti with a woman named Mythic. That's oddly specific, Arsenon. Is this a personal life decision that you've had before? Early Ash has a lot of disrespect. He does. Him and Misty were like MVPs of dissing. They were great. Oh, I think little man's gonna need picked up. Does anyone know how to get past the first temple in Skyward Sword? Get good. In all seriousness, where are you stuck at? I mean, I'm a walking strategy guide for Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. Skyward Sword a little bit less so, but I still am pretty familiar with the game. Okay, no shiny there. We're gonna go pick up little man here and see if we can make him happy. We almost had to end a stream. I couldn't find a binky for a minute. We're good, though. You crack mirrors, Misty. Only one of us can hallucinate at a time. This part with water. Okay, so in that room, if you jump down to the bottom, you can crawl through a hole to your left, and it'll take you up a slope where there is a crystal you can hit to raise the water level. It'll have you climb up some vines and all that stuff. Yeah. The water is already raised, so you don't know what to do now. At that point, there should be something on the other side that you can now get to by hopping across a log. There should be a treasure chest there, and perchance a door that you need to exit out of and climb up the side of the wall on to get to the top again. Oh, gotcha. Didn't give good enough instruction on the mythic, yes, so he ended up married to Mystic. I gotcha. You had to do it for your friend. I really want to collect the Pokemon movies. I do. There's just so many of them. I only own the Indigo League. Just the season. Like, I don't own any of the movies. Well, maybe I do own Pokemon 2000 and Pokemon 1 and 2. I don't know. I'll have to see. I think I have Pokemon 3. Arceus is much stronger in the anime than game. I would say. I do like how Legends Arceus explains why we're able to put the god of all Pokemon into a ball and why we're able to beat it. It is just a piece of Arceus. Like, that is amazing. That is great lore and context. Bidoof. Fee is no help. Alright, though. But to be fair, I feel like she's more help than Navi. And, like, I love Fee so much. Now, if Midna wasn't such a provocative teenage bait, I would say that Fi is definitively the best helping hand in a mainstream console-based Zelda game. I say that because Fi, or Fee, Midna, and Eslo are the greatest AI assistants ever in a Zelda game. Hands down, point blank, period. Can't get much better than those. Actually, you can't get better than those at all. Eslo, handheld game. Minish Cap. Super great, super witty, super funny. Always narking on you. Like, he's great. Love the attitude. Fi, I love her dry, cold, calculating, non-existent sense of humor that's humor, you know? That's just me as a person. I think she's super funny. I calculate if you continue in your current pathway, you will die with a 98% chance of failure. You know, something like that. I think it's good. Midna, lot of sass. Love that. Super awesome. Hey! Congratulations, you've won. Yo, guys. I just won for 20 bucks 12 Winnie the Pooh VHS tapes that nobody wants. Imagine that, I won. That's crazy. Oh, for sure. She definitely can't give you any good hints. Like, no. That's not what she's there for. Oh my gosh, that ancient Mew card they gave you in the movies survived? That's impressive in and of itself. Oh, I wasted an encounter. Rip. Fee is the best. Yeah! You right, Arsenon, you right. David, hands down, the worst Pokemon without any competition, Bruxious. Easy choice. It's ugly, it's not strong, it's stupid, nobody wants it, and it's just there. You trade for a shiny Darkrai? Sucks that most legendaries have pressure. I don't know. I mean, pressure can be useful. like, it took me forever to realize what pressure actually did, and it just whittles away your move pool. -1 PP. Fair. Oh yeah, no doubt. There's definitely better abilities, for sure. That's been part of the planning and strategy behind Pokemon, you know? Like, I don't think it's a good one competitively, because there's not a lot of situations where you're going to have time to utilize the full effects of pressure before you're dead. But there are times when limiting moves that can be used is quite effective. For example, if they are running Fissure, making it so that they can only use that 3 times is pretty beneficial, because 2 of those times it's gonna miss. You hate C-Dot? Understandable. Only the mods know my story. Freaking C-Dot. Not good with shiny hunting either. Yeah, not really. It's not good for catching long encounters either, since they just struggle faster. Struggle is the sole reason why I never hunt shinies without Master Balls. Like, I am a shiny hunter, not a shiny idiot. Like, if I'm gonna be out here wasting all this time to find it, you can guarantee yourself I'm gonna have a guaranteed way to catch it. You never shiny hunted again. It's brutal when you're shiny hunting gender-specific ones, especially when the gender is like 20 to 80% chances. Like a lot of the Pokemon genders are, for no good reason. If you can save in front of a shiny, I also go for that one, Arsenon. But oftentimes shinies are random and can't be predicted, so kind of hard to save in front of it and spam with Pokeballs, because you will lose it. if you don't catch it. My wife is all over here texting me. Our kid is so spoiled. She sends me a picture that she bought him a toothbrush and toothpaste. The exact, like, minute my eBay listing went through. So I sent her a picture of that. I was like, yeah, tell me about it. She was just passively saying last night, I'm like, I wonder if you can find the rest of those movie sets. And I'm like, oh, maybe, we'll see. So I got on eBay and within a day have the rest of them. I spent a month on Kyogre because I refused to use anything above a regular Pokeball. Well, if it works for you, it works. Zamasiu, welcome. Let's go. Got the Lechonk emojis going on. That's pretty legit. Did you do that in the original Gen 4 or what? Or Legends Arceus? If you did it in Legends Arceus, that's pretty sad, bro. I don't shiny hunt because I don't use good Pokeballs. Makes it significantly harder. It was Gen 4 Pokemon. Oof. Rip. That's unfortunate. I'm a man of flexing. I only catch my Pokemon in regular Pokeballs. You would not believe the amount of people that request regular Pokeballs in giveaways. Like, I admit I've been pretty terrible at making sure that there's a diverse group, but I don't have the number of bots that I used to. Devoted all to Scarlet and Violet. Like, most of the time I like doing, hey, here's a Pokeball version, here's a Special Ball version. You know, just in case you're bougie like that. But it seems like every time I do a Special Ball, like, I get people in my comments being like, why couldn't you have done it in just, like, basic Pokeball? It's so annoying not having everything in a Pokeball. And I respect that. I have my own brand of OCD as well. So, like, to each their own. We try to cater to as many people as possible. So, I hope that it wasn't near the end and actually was the end, because Lightning... Maybe I'm being technical right now, but you know the saying, why is it always the last place you look that you find the thing you're looking for? Who here's heard that saying? Why is it always in the last place you look? Right? So, like, I was probably in 5th grade. My mom, you know, just casually said that phrase, why is it always in the last place I look that I find the thing that I'm looking for? And, you know, just easy 5th grader logic. Well, why would you continue to look for something you already found? Stopped her dead in her tracks. It was hilarious. But hopefully it was the end of your hunt. Because hopefully you didn't continue to shiny hunting it after figuring out that it was locked. Caterpie can KO Deoxys. I mean, it is Bug on Psychic. I mean, stranger things have happened. I'm not going to set myself up for sadness when it takes itself out. It is pretty sad. Buddy, why are you, like, drooling? I don't like that. You just catch them because it's harder and more fun. I can respect that. I think that's good. I like having as color coordinated Pokeballs as possible to the Pokemon I'm putting them in. But sometimes it's just not possible. Like, Darkrai, I gotta catch in a Moonball. Arsenon has a question. Nailed that high five, though. Pokemon, but you can die. Pokemon, but if you lose a Pokemon, you lose a finger. Ooh, that's brutal. Oh, Arsenon, I know a little bit about what that's like, you know, being on the friend's side. My cousin used to collect those 50-cent machine, the capsule toys. And he had an entire shelf and a TV stand lined up of them. And me and my brother would go over to his house frequently. You know, we'd stay up all night, play video games, and have nothing better to do with our lives. So if he would ever get up to go to the bathroom or go get a drink, we would stand up, go and move some of his little figurines around, and just see how long it took him. Like, usually within walking into the room, he would move them around and didn't realize he was doing it until we recorded him doing it once. Like, he had no knowledge that he did that when he entered the room. Like, he would instinctively just fix them and put them back where they belonged. It was the most cool thing to see. Thanks, Mimikyu fan. In Arsenon, the best hiding spot is indeed in plain sight. It is easy. Bro was on autopilot, indeed. Oh, King's Guard. If I find it tonight, I'll be streaming tomorrow. It'll just be like Arceus or Giratina or something. We are no shortage of things to shiny hunt, that's for sure. But on that note, like, I got like 3 more encounters that I'm going to be doing. We're going to stop at 2650. We need to get Baby Coin ready for bed. It's almost 9 o'clock here, so we're going to get him a bath, get him fed, pajamaed up, and in bed. I also need to tend to a task that my wife asked me to do, so... Oh, you heard that saying, so you raised your hand. Very good. Why indeed? You don't like the rules of that Nuzlocke? I should really do a Nuzlocke here on the channel. But like, it would have to be Pokemon Sapphire that I Nuzlocked, of course. I would probably do it with a Trico. That is so gross, dude. I would probably do a Nuzlocke shiny style, so I can only use shinies. I can only catch 1 Pokemon per route. If it dies, it's gone for good, but I would never get rid of it. It would just be, I put it in a box that I can't touch. Because getting rid of a shiny is just absurd. Nuzlocke, Baby Coin makes random decisions, right? Alright, that was 2650 encounters. No shiny as of yet, so we are going to end the stream. I don't suspect I'll be streaming again tonight when everything's all said and done. I might, but it's also not a great decision since I'll be watching Baby Coin tomorrow. Who knows? We'll catch you guys later.